I'll patch you up. I'm ready for you. Got something for ya.
Opening fire.
Bulletproof. Here.
Hey, what's up everybody? 𝒊𝒏𝒄𝒍𝒑𝒔 here, and a new patch is upon us. Hopefully the devs are true to their word when it comes to how the new gear will drop. Have you seen a difference? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, I have a new TU10.1 tank build for you that I believe could be a great option to run. It gives you the feel of Foundry without having to actually wear it. So if you're new to my channel and interested in builds from DPS all the way to skill, then please drop a like and don't hesitate to subscribe. I drop dedicated Division 2 content and you won't be disappointed. Invincible is an amalgamation of gear that comes together to form a beautiful fusion between damage and survivability. Remember Impregnable? Well, this is giving me those vibes again, and that was one of my all-time favorite builds. An easy build to put together, but so effective, especially with the new Forge buff. Without further ado, let's get started. Hey, what's going on everybody? It's a brand new patch 10.1, and you know I always come with the fresh new builds for the new patches, and I got another one for you today. With the Foundry Bulwark nerf of the armor regeneration, I wanted to compensate for that and find a build that could perform just as well and also deal a lot of damage. So the specialization I'm using with this is Technician, and that's mainly for the Artificer Hive to increase the survivability of your shield. Now with the Forge buff, 50%, I mean that might I don't know what the devs be doing, man. Like, I think that might be a little bit overtuned, but we're gonna have to see how it all works out in PvP, and you know, as we're playing along with it, because the Bulwark shield is already insanely tanky in PvE. So like, how much more tanky does it need to be, right? For the weapons, you don't need to worry about any of these primary or secondary weapons, because the only thing you're rocking with is the Liberty exotic pistol. Now this got two buffs. The first change that it got was when you hit an enemy in the body, it stacks up to 30 times and it heals your shield 3% per stack. So if you get 30 stacks, it would heal your shield up to 90%. What they added to this was that those hits also give you weapon damage stacks. They didn't give you 3% though, 2%, which means you get up to 60% weapon damage when you hit an enemy in the head after consuming those stacks. I tried the Regulus with this build, but it just didn't feel right. I mean, even though it hits harder, it has less rounds in the magazine, and it just doesn't go with it. The Regulus is more like a running gun, headshot, damage dealer, fast moving pistol. The Liberty is for like tanky builds. It does an insane amount of damage and it gives you more rounds in the magazine. For the build, like I said, I wanted to compensate for the fact that Foundry Bulwark got nerfed, and this is the perfect combination right here. The mask, I'm using the Healer Guard. What you want on this build is to stack as much hazard protection and armor regeneration as you can. Now if you're playing PvP, you want to have disrupt resistance mods so that they can't take your shield down with any type of jam or pulse or anything like that. So you want to keep disrupt resistance on there if you're playing PvP. PvE, it doesn't matter. You could do burn resistance, you could do bleed resistance, whatever's your preference. Since I mainly play PvP, I stay with disrupt resistance mods in here. Yo, look at this Douglas and Harding chest piece, man. It dropped like this with the exception of the talent. It already had hazard protection and weapon handling, which is great. I mean, I would have liked to have armor generation, but The Liberty is kind of unstable, so the weapon handling is good. And I just put headshot damage on here. Now, the way that you want to increase your damage on a tank is to run Intimidate. And there's a reason why I call this build invincible, because if you're behind a shield and you're getting bonus armor when you're close to an enemy and they're shooting you in the back, first of all, you're getting protected with the bonus armor, and you can just turn around and like get into a safe spot, and then your armor would just come back really quick because you got that armor regeneration, right? 2%. 2% is a lot of 1.2 million. And it's actually more than 2% because when you roll armor regeneration on a build, then it's more than 2%. My armor was coming back pretty fast. Okay, this right here is exactly what I was talking about. The bread and butter of the build, man. The R&K named holster called the Forge. They buffed this by 40%. It gives you a whopping 50% shield health, man. I don't think I've ever seen that much of a buff on a skill. 50%? That is crazy, man. Like the most I seen was when I had the Motherly Love gloves and it was 20% and they nerfed that to 10. So 50% is nuts, man. I mean, you could pair this, like, okay, you could pair this with the 3-piece Foundry Bulwark and get another 50% and have 100% shield health, right? But like I said, if you use the 3-piece Foundry, you're going to get 1% armor regeneration in order to output enough damage. Now, that's my opinion. That's my perspective of the build. If you want to go ahead and go full tank, that's fine. You can do that too. For the backpack, it's my second piece of healer guard. And this is good because it comes with a defensive mod slot. The armor is not really that good, but it's okay. I could always farm for another piece and get max armor. But it does have great hazard protection and great armor regeneration. Good thing about this build is that you're going to be relying on your shield a lot, so you don't really have to worry about the armor as much. As long as you got those core attributes as armor, you're golden. Now the talent is Adrenaline Rush, synergizes with Intimidate, of course. This is where you're going to get your damage. Now when you get those stacks with the Liberty pistol, you hit them in the body, you hit them in the head close up, you get whatever damage stacks from the Liberty plus that 35% from Intimidate, man. It's a great combination. It's nothing better than having a tank that does damage, man. It's very little you can do about that, especially in PvP. And when you have 90% disrupt resistance, which is basically the immunity threshold, you do not need 100%. The reason why I don't have 100% is because of the Douglas and Harding chest piece, which comes with the offensive mod slot. There's nothing I can do about that. But 90% is just fine. That's all you need. The gloves are the third piece of the healer guard. Same attributes, armor regeneration and hazard protection. Not much more I need to say about this. And for the final piece on the build are the Murakami knee pads. These are the named knee pads called the Emperor's Guard. These are DZ exclusive. As far as I know, you can only get them by farming the DZ. And that's where I got my two. They come as a skill tier, which is fine because there are two core attributes that give you a tier for your shield. Skill tier or defensive, it doesn't matter, it's your choice. Of course, you know what skills I'm using, right? The Bulwark shield, a tier 6 shield, because I'm running Technician, it gives me 1 extra skill tier, another one from the Murakami knee pads, and 4 blue core attributes, which makes 6. With the tier 6 shield, you're going to get 120% active regeneration, some really nice shield health, and 40% holster regeneration. You might as well add 50% onto that 400% because of the Forge holster. Tanks are always needed in all types of content. PvP, raids, legendary missions. You're always going to need them. But to have a tank that does damage is invaluable. And this is what that is. And for the second skill, I'm using the Artificer Hive. As I said before, all I'm trying to do is heal my shield whenever it gets damaged. And this is great for that. It just sits on your back, it just heals your shield passively. I've used the Artificer Hive in a lot of other builds, and I think it's one of the most slept on skills. People don't really realize how good it is. If you have like a full tier 6 skill build, the Artificer buffs all of your skills efficiency by 70%. It's just a great skill, and it should be one of your go-to skills when you're using a Bulwark shield, in my opinion. This build is not really that in-depth. It's pretty straightforward and it's easy to make. I'm glad they made these new talents, Intimidate and Adrenaline Rush, because ever since I made Impregnable, which was a crazy build that just caused a lot of problems for a lot of people, I've been wanting to make another tank build that's kind of like on that level, and I think this is the way to go. If you do want to check out Impregnable, it's actually still viable in this current meta, so check that out if you're interested. But that'll do it for this video, and if it helped you out in any way, if you enjoyed this video, then please drop a like and don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. Until I see you in my next video, be right out.